You've probably heard it 1,000 times. Women are mysterious, impossible to read, like trying to decipher a secret language that changes every time you think you're getting close. But what if I told you that women are actually the opposite of mysterious? That they communicate exactly what they want? That the signal is so clear, so unmistakable, that most men walk right past it every single day without recognizing it? This was never your fault. Nobody ever sat down and taught you how to actually listen to what a woman is really saying. The truth is hidden in plain sight. It's not in her words, it's in what comes before the words. And by the time you finish this video, you're going to understand something that will change how you hear every conversation with a woman for the rest of your life. Stay here because in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what a woman says when she's genuinely interested. Not the surface level stuff. The deep layer underneath that most men never even look for. And there's one thing in particular that comes before everything else. One signal so powerful that once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's what we're covering today. And it might be the most important thing you'll learn about real attraction. Here's the thing about women and how attraction actually works. Psychologists at Oxford University conducted a study that tracked what women do in the first moments of genuine interest. And their findings are completely different from what most men have been taught. When a woman is truly drawn to you, her nervous system doesn't lie. It can't. She doesn't have to say anything. Her body has already made a decision. Her energy shifts. Her attention becomes singular. She's not multitasking with you. She's not checking her phone every 30 seconds. She's present. Fully present. And this goes back to something fundamental about how women's brains are wired. Women are attention detectors. They read the room. They read people. They read you. And when she decides you're worth her focus, the quality of that focus changes dramatically. Most men spend their entire lives wondering why some interactions spark something and others fall flat. They think they're missing a technique, a line, a trick, but they're actually missing the most obvious thing of all. She's been showing them the answer the entire time. She's just been speaking in a language they weren't listening for. This isn't about manipulation. This is about understanding. This is the difference between a man who gets confused by women and a man who naturally resonates with them. One man is looking for answers outside himself. The other has learned to read what's happening right in front of him. Let me paint a picture for you. You're sitting across from a woman. Maybe it's a coffee shop. The light is warm. You're talking about something that doesn't even matter. Work, a show, somewhere you traveled. And then something shifts. She leans forward just slightly, not dramatically, just enough. Her eyes narrow a little, not in a bad way, in a way that says she's gathering information. She's reading your face. And more importantly, she's not breaking eye contact. Normally, conversations flow. People look around. They glance at their drink. They shift their weight. But in this moment, she's locked. Her attention is a beam. What's happening in that moment isn't romantic yet. It's something before romance. It's evaluation. It's her nervous system scanning you, assessing whether it's safe to go deeper, whether you're someone worth exploring further. In that moment, she's asking a question without words. Are you present? Are you real? Or are you performing? She can taste the difference the moment you open your mouth. This communicates something fundamental. I see you. I'm choosing to be here with you. I'm not distracted. I'm not hedging my bets by keeping my options open. You have my focus right now. And in a world where everyone is constantly fractured, constantly streaming their attention in 100 directions, focus is the rarest currency there is. Now let's talk about something deeper. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, a trauma researcher and neuroscientist, discovered something crucial about how human nervous systems work. And this directly applies to what we're discussing. When a woman is in a state of genuine interest, her nervous system moves into what's called parasympathetic activation. This is the safety state. It's the state where trust lives, where vulnerability becomes possible. Most men think they need to create attraction through confidence or humor or some clever move. But what they're actually missing is that before attraction can even exist, she has to feel that it's safe to be attracted. Her body has to believe you're not a threat. Her nervous system has to feel regulated in your presence. And one of the first signs that this is happening is that she stops doing the small self-protective behaviors. She stops crossing her arms. She stops creating distance. She stops checking the room for exits. Instead, she opens. She stays. She lets her body language say yes before her mouth ever does. But here's where most men miss the crucial part. That openness, that relaxation, that signal that she feels safe with you, it's not just a sign that attraction exists. It's the foundation that attraction is even possible. Without this first, you can be the most charming man in the world, and she'll still keep a part of herself locked away from you. She'll be friendly but not vulnerable, interested but not invested. And there's a word of caution here. Timing matters deeply. You cannot create this signal. This is something she has to feel in your actual presence. You can't manufacture it. You can't force it. You can't make her nervous system relax through a text message. This only happens in real space, real time, real conversation. And it only happens when your actual intention is to genuinely understand her, not to get something from her. Here's the second layer. And this is where most men completely miss the forest for the trees. A woman who is genuinely interested will also do something very specific with her words. She will ask you questions, real questions, not surface questions, deep questions. She's doing something most people don't realize. She's building a map of who you are. She's gathering data that tells her whether you're someone worth knowing more. When a woman is casually polite with someone, she keeps the conversation on the surface. Movies, weather, safe ground. But when she's genuinely interested, the questions change. They become more specific, more personal. Where did you grow up? What was that like for you? Has anyone ever hurt you? What do you care about? These are the questions of someone who is trying to understand the real man underneath. Not the persona, not the performance, the actual person. A woman told me once, she was in her late 30s, sitting at a dinner party. She said, "I was with this man for 3 hours and he never once asked me a single real question. He talked the whole time about his success, his travels, his accomplishments, but he never asked me anything that mattered." And I remember leaving thinking, he has no idea who I am. And if he has no idea who I am, how could he be interested in me? It was like dating a mirror. He just wanted me to reflect back how great he thought he was. She never saw him again. That story illustrates something profound. When a woman is interested, she wants to know you, not your highlights reel, you. And the questions she asks are her way of scanning the depths. She's asking what you're made of. And when a man actually answers those questions, when he goes deeper instead of safer, when he becomes more real instead of more impressive, something shifts. She moves from curiosity into connection. This communicates that she sees you as something worth exploring, that you're not just another surface interaction. You're someone interesting enough to know better. Now let's talk about the third signal, and this is more subtle, but it might be the most important of all. A woman who genuinely wants to be closer to you will change her voice, her tone, the rhythm of her speech. This is something researchers at Stanford University documented in their studies on romantic interest. When a woman is speaking to a man she's attracted to, her voice softens slightly. It becomes warmer. The pace slows down. She's not rushing. She's present in the moments between words. Her voice also becomes more vulnerable. There's less armor in it. She says things she probably wouldn't say to someone she was keeping at a distance. Maybe she shares something she's embarrassed about, a failure, an insecurity, a dream she's never told anyone. She's lowering her walls. The way she speaks is showing you that she's decided the risk of being honest is smaller than the risk of remaining hidden. When a woman is interested, she also remembers things. Small things, details from conversations you had weeks ago, a restaurant you mentioned wanting to try, a book you recommended, a fear you mentioned in passing. She holds these fragments because you matter enough to hold. Imagine this. You're on your 5th conversation with a woman. You casually mentioned 3 weeks ago that you used to play guitar. No big deal, just came up. And then she says something like, "I've been curious about your guitar. Do you still think about playing again?" Most men would think this is just her being nice. But this is actually her showing you that you're worth remembering, that what you said matters to her, that she's been thinking about you in the days between conversations. When someone remembers your details, especially the vulnerable ones, they're communicating that they're building a relationship with you inside their mind. They're not just entertaining you in the moment. They're genuinely imagining a future where this connection goes deeper. This communicates profound interest. It says, "You're valuable enough for me to carry with me between now and next time." But here's what most men don't understand about all of these signals combined. They add up to one thing. She's choosing vulnerability. She's choosing to let her guard down. She's choosing to believe that it's safe to become more open, more honest, more herself. And that choice is everything. Because vulnerability, real vulnerability, is where intimacy lives. Not physical intimacy. That's easy. The world is full of physical intimacy. But emotional intimacy, the kind where she can be completely herself without fear of judgment, that's the rarest thing. That's what women are actually looking for when they're in genuine interest. And the moment she's making that choice with you, you, the moment she's opening her nervous system, asking you real questions, changing the quality of her presence, that's when you know something real is possible. Now, I want to go deeper because there's a layer underneath all of this that nobody talks about. Dr. Sue Johnson, a relationship psychologist, calls this the attachment signal, and it's crucial. When a woman is genuinely interested, she doesn't just become more open, she becomes more intentional about your presence. She'll find reasons to be near you. She'll want to know when you'll be around again. She'll text you first. She'll make plans. She'll do the small things that communicate, I don't want this to end, I want this to continue. Most men interpret this as her chasing him, and they panic. They think if she's the one reaching out, something is wrong. The dynamic is off, but this is completely backwards. When a woman is interested, she's not playing games about who texts first. She's being direct about what she wants. She's saying, through her actions, I want more of you. And a man who understands this, a man who doesn't get scared by her directness, who matches her effort with his own, that's a man she can actually build something with. I've heard from women in their 50s who said something profound. They said, by the time I reached my 50s, I stopped playing hard to get. If I was interested, I showed it. And the men who were confused by that openness, they weren't the men I was looking for anyway. I was looking for a man confident enough to match my honesty, to not get threatened by my directness, to understand that if I'm making the effort, it's because you're worth the effort. This communicates something powerful. I trust you enough to show you what I want. I'm not hiding. I'm not testing you. I'm being direct. Let me tell you something that will change how you move through these interactions. The biggest mistake men make is that they wait for some magical moment where a woman suddenly becomes sexual, suddenly becomes willing. Like there's a switch. And they're waiting for her to flip it. But that switch doesn't exist. Attraction isn't built in moments, it's built in patterns. It's the accumulation of all these small signals. The focus, the questions, the vulnerability in her voice, the way she remembers you, the way she reaches out. These things stack on top of each other. They create a foundation. And the truth that most people never say out loud is that by the time a woman is truly interested in being physically close, she's already been mentally and emotionally intimate with you first. She's already made the decision. Her body is following what her mind and heart have already decided. This is about understanding and respect. This is not about manipulation. It's not about tricks. It's not about moving her from point A to point B. It's about recognizing that she has been communicating all along, and you've just learned how to actually listen. Here's what you need to understand about the bigger picture. When a woman is genuinely interested in you, in that deeper way, she's not hiding it. She's not playing games. She's being as direct as she possibly can be. The signals are there. They're constant. They're unmistakable once you know what you're looking for. And the real work isn't figuring out some formula. It's learning to notice, to be present enough that you actually see what she's showing you. Because when you can see it, when you can genuinely recognize her interest and respond to it, that's when real connection becomes possible. That's when she stops wondering if she's imagining things and starts believing that maybe this could be real. Most men will never learn this. They'll keep waiting for the moment where she suddenly decides. They'll keep missing the 1,000 small moments where she's already decided. But you're here, and you're learning. You're becoming the kind of man who can actually see a woman, really see her. And that changes everything. That's what makes you unforgettable to her. If this resonated with you, if any of this connected with something you've been experiencing, hit subscribe. Because what we're doing here isn't surface dating advice. We're exploring the actual psychology of how real connection works. And what comes next takes this even deeper. In the next video, we're going to talk about what happens when she's interested, but you don't know how to respond. The mistakes that turn genuine interest into confusion. The patterns that kill connection before it even starts. And I'm not going to tell you to do anything or say anything different. I'm going to teach you something far more important. I'm going to teach you how to actually be present in a way that deepens what's already happening. You don't want to miss this. Comment vulnerable below if this showed you something you needed to see. And you're not going to regret learning more about how women actually work. Thanks for being here.